burgeoning little space empire, growing into the vast beyond, and slowly becoming bigger to consume them all. Welcome to Takehitsu Gaming. This is Takehitsu, and I am here today playing Stellaris. It is a game of taking over the universe, or at least this solar system. And so we left off. I had just basically got the basic setup going. If you look over here, I have a habit of going to the overall map a lot. But for the purpose of this video and this series, I'm going to be looking at probably a couple aspects I haven't really looked at a whole lot. So here we have our science ship going around scouting
construction is
things. He's currently surveying this planet, so what that'll do is it'll give you details and information about it. It doesn't look like it's a habitable world, but this is okay. He's got all this to do for this system, and then we will go from there. But in the meantime, my construction ship has finished building the mining station that we got started over here. So he will now go to this one, and we will have him build another mining station. This one will mine energy, which we can use for all kinds of things. Let me see something here. Under settings, so there is maybe I don't have it. Oh, I don't know how to look for that up. Well, I'm pretty sure that somewhere along the epics of survival, or the game, I should say, there's a button that removes everything, so I can just see, like, space. I'm not sure if it is, though. So, might be somewhere around here. User interface. Wait, no, that's not what I'm looking for. Go back. Console commands. There we go. No, wait, no, that wouldn't be it either. Probably be under user interface. Or hotkeys. That would probably actually be exactly what I'm looking for. Interface. Yeah, I already knew those. Planet menu, ship menu, general. Control F9. Alright, let's see what it looks like. Ho ho! And here we have raw epics of space. And Ardoon, our home planet. Alright, I'm gonna definitely remember that. Oh, okay, so the Swarm Inklak Muxi, which is our science vessel, has made a startling find on Kalhajam 2. The planet is teeming with alien life. For the first time in history, we have encountered life forms that did not originate from Ardoon. This amazing discovery has silenced those who believe we were alone in the universe. Although none of the alien creatures found on Kajorm or Kalahajam are sapient, it is likely only a matter of time before that encounter begins. So, just for discovering the fact that there's life, it granted me 60 points of society research. That's not going to show up here. If F4 for technology, you'll see that that actually shows up here. So I have 36 months to complete this now, whereas earlier it wasn't quite that significant. See, 60 points out of 500. That's where it'll show up.
Our construction is complete.
And this is definitely interesting. We have confirmed the existence of lower forms of organic life outside of Ardoon's biosphere. Didn't they just say that? Alright, well, my construction ship is actually unable to continue at the moment because this hasn't been explored yet. So we're actually going to go ahead. I'm going to go to a different aspect of the game while my ships continue to do things. and the ship designer. Now this, first thing you do whenever you get into actually developing your fleets is you need to go and design your own ships. Now in the beginning, there's like, you have no variation. You want to turn off this auto generate designs, okay? Because this will mean you only have one design of each type of ship. Maybe that works for you. It does not for me. Right now I only have two types of ships, a Corvette and a defense platform. Of the Corvette, go up here to where it says no section, there's the missile boat and interceptor. The default one is a interceptor. I want, but I'm going to redesign that anyways because I'm slightly psychotic. I don't know. So what you do is means small slot. Okay. Right now all you have is lasers and mass drivers, which is basically a cannon. And G is, I'm not really sure why they use G. All I know is it's basically an indirect weaponry. It's missiles, torpedoes. I think that's it. And so the top is where you put your weapons. On the right side, you'll see over here you have your reactor, your engine, your hyperdrive, which is the speed at which you travel between hyperdrive lanes. Your chemical thrusters, which is your speed that you travel across, so here in space, like if you're moving like this. Your radar system. Now, if you click on, say, your fleet, okay, they used to have like a dotted line that would show you how far their vision is. They might not have any vision right now, but basically that's their distance to see things out here. So like see things at this star here or at this star here. Basic combat computer. As you get better technology, the computers help you aim better and they give you specific roles. So when you go into combat, pretty much when you engage another enemy fleet, your ships are just going to fly up and shoot at it, okay? You don't really have control over any of the combat. This chip will change the role that your ship plays. And for example, Picket is basically a very front line. Their design is to shoot down fighters, incoming missiles. If you ever watch Battlestar Galactica, it's like the Vipers. They shoot down nukes that are flying at the Galactica, as well as other fighters. Their focus really isn't to go after the base star, which is launching all the robot warriors. But right now, everything's just basic. So all they do is swarm. So they fly straight up. They shoot anything. The next slot on the bottom, if you notice, you have all your stats too. It'll tell you how much it costs. It'll take 60 days to build it, which is 2 months. Basically, the game moves month, day, and year. I'm on month 4 or 5, excuse me, which is so early in the game. It honestly does not matter. I've been playing for, well, it's been rolling now for. You start at 20100101, so it hasn't been going very long. I always check the auto upgrade. What that does is when you research something that goes to this ship, it will automatically upgrade it and then tell you that your fleet has an upgrade available. This stuff down the bottom. So A stands for auxiliary. Right now you have a reactor booster, which gives you more power. Everything you put on here costs power, including these. But you still have plus 30 power. So right now I'm in excess of power, which is a good thing. So I'm going to put on 2 shields, which will take me to 0, and an armor plate. Now armor plates don't cost power at all. They just increase your hit points for armor. And if you later on get the crystal armor plates, they literally just give you hull points. They don't actually give you armor. I have a set. Oops, we don't want some YouTube channel in there. I have on a notepad a whole bunch of names that I've saved for this race. Basically, in my own little creative psychosis, I made these. I made a list of spider names, and for some reason it's not working. Okay, So we're going to generate. Let's go over it with this. I can't do anything with it. Okay, so that means something's not right. My Control C. Control C. Control V. There we go. Okay, so I've designed that. I'm going to actually delete the randomly generated one, and it's probably going to look exactly the same as the one I'm about to generate. But I hate these auto things. Like I told you, I am a micromanaging monstrosity. I have to micromanage everything because if it's not done to perfection, then I feel like it's a weak point in my defenses, and we have problems. So I use scientific names of actual spiders that exist today, or parts of their names, or genus of species, I should say. So, for example, Lycosidae and Phonoitra. The Lycosidae comes from the wolf, that is the family of wolf spider, okay? And Phonoitra is part of the name for Brazilian wandering spider. Which, as most people know today, is the most dangerous spider on Earth. So, look. Alright, let me pause it real quick. Okay, you see how this name is grayed out? That means he hasn't finished exploring the whole thing. So he finished exploring the whole Kahalajom, and in here, you can zoom in and look at everything, okay? So we got planets, we got a planet that's a lava planet with a moon that's surrounding or circling it. We've got gas planet, we've got a toxic planet. Now, most of these planets you can't inhabit, and you can tell the difference because the ones that you can have this little planet icon next to them, and it'll be green, yellow, or red. Which means if it's doesn't have anything, you'll never be able to colonize it. However, this planet right here is green, which means my current race, or a race that is currently in my empire, finds it favorable. Okay, so I believe it's green at 70% and higher for habitability, which means your people habit it. It won't cost them a bunch of extra money for, you know, building air, oxygen tanks and having a dome. Instead, it's got a decent atmosphere and it works. So, like, it gives you information. But this planet right here is habitable. It's got 18 slots, so it's about the same size as our capital. I think our capital is 17. Our capital is 17. And, so we're going to sit here and, I'm going to take the worker here, and I'm going to tell him we want to build a starbase, okay? Now, if you notice, with building the starbase, let me cancel this order real quick. Just move there. It costs 100 minerals and 37 influence points. I told you how the influence is used in anything that influences space. Well, what that does, you see my little red line here in this darker color? So those are my empire's colors, red with black, and the border will extend out around this star, this solar system. And at that point, we will have control. I will be able to build all these mining outposts. I will be able to colonize this planet. Without that, the only thing I can do is move ships, combat ships and stuff, well, any ships. I can move them in and out. That's all I can do. I can't influence anything there. So I have to build the space station there. That's how you expand outwards. We have 200 energy credits now. So I'm going to go to our second science ship and get a new leader, because I like to explore more than one star at a time. Expansion becomes a very, very serious thing. If you don't expand, you won't get resources and you will die. So if you notice over here on our fleet, another thing to take note of, okay, so our fleet has a little arrow up, okay? What that means is our current ships have an upgrade. Remember how I told you when you get technology, your ships in your fleet manager with this auto upgrade will tell you when they can be upgraded. What that is these ships, we don't have them yet. Like, so these 3 ships were that auto generated one. So these ships are no longer in my retinue of usable ships. So that means when I click upgrade, it'll spend the resources and it'll change them to one of my classes. My experience says that it'll change them to my missile boats here, the Lycosidae. And so this will be what they look like. They'll become this design. And I'm not entirely sure why. I believe it's because they have a little bit more firepower than the other ones, but they're not better overall. Just remember that. But the easiest way to do that is when you click on this fleet. Over here there's a little upgrade button. Okay, so it's only going to cost me 15 mil, so I'm just going to tell it to do that now. This fleet will fly to the nearest space station, okay, which they're currently docked at, right? It's right here. That has a shipyard. If it does not have a shipyard, it can't do anything to the ships. And then it goes into the queue and it will begin upgrading. Alright, so that's what's going to happen here. The next thing that I'm going to do is I want to go back to the surface of my planet. Now see this grayed out population here in this bar? So what that means is that this planet is literally repopulating. Each one of these people represents, I think it's like 100 million people or something like that. I'm not 100% sure what their population representation is. I'd have to look that up. I never found it to be that important. It's just a population, okay? So what that means is that when this guy is done, this tile will be used by my empire. So in this case, it'll generate 2 credits, but each population eats. So my food income will go down, alright? Now, if you remember earlier, I was telling you how we build, or how we, how we build on these. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here. So these right here, they cost energy, or in other words, money, to clear out. So my next goal, money-wise, is to clear out this one that has a food icon, because food is important. Without it, your people die. When your people die, you start losing all these incomes, and you can actually lose the game entirely by losing every single one of your populations, because then you just simply died out from starvation. You lost the game. You can continue to roll, by the way. So, and see, now it's telling my fleet finished upgrading, and that's what these icons right here are. This says the space station finished its construction. This one's saying that the fleet was upgraded. And from there we continue. So, for now, I can't do a whole lot with that. I'm going to build a second construction ship, because I like to expand quickly. I'm also going to go ahead and build another science ship. That thing's going to sit there. And so I'm using these resources again. The next thing I'm going to do is go over fleets. So here you have your naval capacity. Each ship has a cost. The corvettes cost 1, okay? Only the combat ships, your science ships and all these construction ships, they have 0 cost. They're free. And so, and what this is basically your supplies. You're sending supplies to that ship. Just like any military thing, they have to eat their MREs, or in my case, the protein. My creatures, you know, they eat meat. They're meat eaters. So I don't know what kind of, they're protein bars, I guess. Yeah. So anyways, I'm going to go over here. There is no quick button for this yet. It's called the Fleet Manager. So if you're new to the game, and you're playing this, you're playing this for the first time, the Fleet Manager can be extremely complicated. Most people think it doesn't work. There's a lot of people that say it's bugged and there's all kinds of problems with it. They are partially true, but most of it's human error. So right here you see my hive ship, my hive swarm Alpha Omega. Okay. with currently the setup of 3 Phenoitra class ships. So if the fleet goes into battle and I lose one of these ships, it's going to say 2 of 3 and it's going to show 2 here. And this button right here that has the 2 arrows will light up, which, like it says, this fleet is at current strength or full strength right now. So if I click that, it's going to take the minerals that I have, use that to build any ships that it can currently afford, and that ship, once it's built, will fly to wherever the Alpha Omega fleet is. The ways that people bug it is when you later on you can get jump drives, and if you jump to a place that you can't fly to, so say up here in Ruklar, say that an alien empire has this, and they have blocked off my closed borders, so I can't fly through their space, and I jump to the other side of it. If I'm not at war with them, my people will not go through those borders. So if I've jumped to the other side of it and there's no way to get over there, each one of, when you click reinforce, it will still build all your ships, but they will just start stockpiling up and they won't actually join the fleet because they can't get to it. So instead you'll have all these little fleets appear, which becomes a pain in the butt. And it's just simple things like that. They have, whatever, for this to work, your fleet has to be in an accessible point for your fleets, the reinforcements to fly to. You can't reinforce something that you can't get to. The next thing I'm going to do, so when you click add ship to the fleet, design to fleet, you see all of your designs that you've currently designed over here on the left, and you just click on it to add it. You can actually click on it here and you see I've added 3 Lycosides, or I can go over here to the plus button. I'm going to put 10 of both of these on here. Alright, and see this lit up? You can also tell your fleet where their home station is. So I only have 1 station right now. When I build that, that won't technically be a station, that's just an outpost. You have to upgrade it to make a station. Wherever you put your home station to, that is, when you click on your fleet and you click this, there's this button right here. This returns them to their home station. Okay, so when you click on that, you can also set their home station here in the fleet menu, but that will send the fleet back to its home station. Okay, and you can have, so easy way to put your fleets all over your empire is to have home stations in several locations, with a different fleet at each one, and then that fleet will basically camp there, and that's their home. We'll get into that when our empire gets much bigger. Right now, that's not an issue. Another thing that's nice about the fleet manager is it tells you. So right now, I only have 3 ships, okay? But my current fleet has a total capacity of 20 out of 26 naval capacity. Right now the maximum command limit on a fleet is 20, so it's not like I can go much higher than that. I can create 1,000 fleets for all I care, but I can't go past 26 ships. Not that that matters. I don't really feel like doing that right now. That's not what I need to do. If I wanted to build all of my ships in one go, I need 1,848 minerals. So I don't have to sit here and try to do math and figure it out. It tells me. It also tells me that right now I can afford to reinforce 1 ship for 108. And you can click this reinforcement off and it will reinforce all of it. I'm going to go ahead and do that and build 1 more ship. Usually by year 5, you want to have about 6 ships total, because that's when pirates will start popping up. And the small fleet of 3 will actually not beat the low-level pirates. This is a harder difficulty too, so I might be completely overwhelmed. I might be in some serious bad juju, but we'll find out. But thank you for coming and tuning in to Takehitsu Gaming. This is Takehitsu, and this will end our session for the day. So if you guys want to see more, go ahead and subscribe, and if you like what you see, hit the thumbs up. If you guys do not, then I apologize for wasting your time. Have a good evening.